You don't need an $8 billion PC to enjoy these babies. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 great games that run well on bad computers. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're looking at some truly great games that still perform well on toasters. This game needs to run smoothly and perform well, so Minecraft will not be included, as it honestly doesn't run nearly as well as you'd think on some old stuff. Number 10, Team Fortress 2. Team Fortress 2 was released way back in 2007, so it's not exactly like you'll be playing the freshest title out there. That said, due to its addictive gameplay and numerous updates, Team Fortress 2 still has a more than healthy community on PC. Luckily for those of you with crappy computers, you can still jump in and enjoy the fun, as it doesn't require all that much to run. If you turn down your screen resolution and delete unnecessary background elements, the game will run very easily. Sure, it might not look fantastic, but it's more than playable. Number 9, This War of Mine. This War of Mine is a game developed by 11-bit studios, and it follows the civilian aspect of wartime struggles. Players control a group of survivors and must endure until a ceasefire is declared by gathering groups and materials and maintaining your character's health. It's an enormously powerful game thanks to its story elements and downbeat visual style, and it's absolutely worth playing even if you have a low-end PC. You really don't need to max the settings to experience the emotions that the game brings, and it's not exactly a graphical showpiece to begin with. Just throw it on and lose yourself in the experience. Number 8, Hotline Miami. The game that reinvigorated 80s synth music for a new generation, along with pixelated blood, Hotline Miami sees you controlling an unnamed protagonist as they brutally slaughter everyone in a given room. But seriously, the music alone is like 80% of the reason to play this one. Thanks to its retro-style graphics, it really doesn't need a whole lot to run, so you can easily play on a crummy old laptop should you have one lying around. PC gaming doesn't need to be extravagant, and Hotline Miami proves it. Number 7, Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley has a little bit of everything. It's primarily a farming simulator, which sees you fixing up your old inherited farmland. But it also includes cooking, fishing, interacting with NPCs, and exploring procedurally generated caves for resources. It's a fantastic little game, filled to the brim with charming things to do. And you guessed it, it can be played on your potato rig. It's a laid-back game and requires next to nothing to play. Any laptop from the previous few years will run it without breaking a sweat. Number 6, Darkest Dungeon.
Beneath those ancient ruins in the moor that calls out to the boldest among them.
Darkest Dungeon is a neat little indie game that sees you control a band of heroes who dungeon crawl through dungeons underneath a gothic mansion. A unique twist on the formula is your character's stress levels. You have to keep your characters healthy and calm, or else a lot of afflictions may incur. It's a punishing game, but in the right ways. Think of it as a From Software title for your laptop. Unlike those games, however, this one requires very little to run, and can be easily played on dated hardware due to the less than demanding requirements.
These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
Number 5, Undertale. We're sure you know all about Undertale by now, so we'll spare you all the details. But needless to say, the game is universally loved due to its complex and thematic writing, its unique combat system, and its score. It's one of gaming's most original titles in years, and best news of all, it's very easily accessible, even to those of you holding on to the most outdated of technology. The game's primitive graphics means that it can easily run on any old PC, and you're doing yourself a disservice if you haven't tried it yet. Number 4, FTL, Faster Than Light. Luckily for us, FTL Faster Than Light requires so little in terms of graphics and space that it could probably run on an Atari. Okay, maybe not, but you get the point, right? This game can be played on the potatoest of potatoes, yet it's so much fun that you won't even notice how simple it is. It's one of the few highly successful titles to come from Kickstarter, and it follows a spacecraft's crew as they try to defend themselves from invading fleets and other space hazards. It's a great game for those with imagination and who fancy themselves as a bit of a Captain Kirk. Or Picard, he was better. Number 3, The Binding of Isaac. This indie game was released 6 years ago, and chances are you'll have no problems running it. The game has you controlling Isaac, or one of the many unlockable characters, as they battle monsters in his mother's basement. The game is extremely replayable due to the vast amounts of power-ups and the procedurally generated dungeon, which helps make the roguelike gameplay more interesting for a new generation. It runs on basically anything, and can even be played with a simple laptop keyboard. It's extremely primitive and simple, but it's also really good. Number 2, Counter-Strike: Global Offensive. If you can stomach the rather colorful community that plagues this game, then Global Offensive is an absolute must-play. It's one of the best and most popular multiplayer titles on the market today, and it's extremely simple to find a game due to the high amounts of people playing. If you want to get in on one of PC gaming's hottest titles, then here you go. Sure, you may not be able to run it on the dustiest of old laptops like most of the games on this list, but with a few tweaks and setting adjustments, low-end PCs should have no problem with running this stellar title.
Terrorists win.
Before we unveil our top picks, here are a few honorable mentions. Number 1, League of Legends. Let's face it, Counter-Strike's community seems like it's run by Mother Teresa when pit against the hell that is League of Legends. That being said, you could simply ignore the noxious players and enjoy one of the most popular games of this generation. This is one of the best MOBAs on the market, and it remains wildly popular to this day, which is no doubt helped by the low system requirements needed to play it. A simple old laptop will meet minimum requirements, and while it might not excel in performance, it'll be highly enjoyable that way nonetheless. Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.